Yeah, actually today marks, I think, my 1-year anniversary coming to 1 million cups. So I really want to thank everybody here at Thinker, and all of you, because when I started coming, I thought I was going to participate in something called early retirement. And that didn't work out very well. It was very depressing, and what was missing was the entrepreneurial spirit in my life. And I came here and I found it. And I found a group and people that I wanted to be around. And it took me a while to figure out, okay, I found my tribe, now what am I going to do? So again, thank you to all of you. You've been very key in this journey for the past year. Thank you very much. What we do is we professionally value and sell businesses, privately owned businesses, nothing that's on the stock market. So anything that's privately held, we help people buy and sell businesses, much like, say, a real estate agent might help someone buy and sell your home. We represent all kinds of businesses, everything from auto to wholesale, online businesses, Amazon partners. That business can be sold. We represent different businesses in the form of corporations or LLCs, sub-S, even some sole proprietorships. And I'm going to kind of make a segue here. Those of you that are still operating your business as a sole proprietorship under your Social Security number, I want to thank you very much. You are paying too much in tax, and you're supporting the rest of us. So if that's something you're doing, don't raise your hand, but go see your tax accountant or your attorney, because there are other ways. I'll just say that. To do that. What a lot of us entrepreneurs don't realize is that we've created a very valuable asset. We don't view it as an asset. We view it as a service we're giving to people. And whether you're a brick and mortar or a service business or online, you have a saleable asset. And a lot of people don't realize that. I have a friend named Jack. He had a carpet cleaning business. And when he wanted to do something else, he just closed it and sold the equipment. I said, you know, you could have gotten money for the business. People don't care if it's Jack or Jean coming to clean their carpets. It's A1 carpets they were hiring. So he's like, yeah, I know. Yeah, well, I didn't really know. In fact, I don't know how many of you know Phil up at Iron Tech. He runs the incubator. He was talking about his college experience. He had a power washing business and power washed people's decks. And he was talking about how he closed it and sold the equipment. And I said, you know, you could have made money on that. He goes, yeah, but I was in college. I said, would $5,000, $25,000 have made a difference to your college debt? He says, yeah. But people just don't know. So one of my goals today is really to inform you and make sure you know that you have an asset that can be sold. Why a business broker? Because some businesses just can't put a for sale sign in the window. Has anyone ever seen a restaurant, an operating restaurant, with a for sale sign in the window? I'm going to guess not. Because in this industry, when that happens, your staff is gone in 24 to 48 hours. Not because they're bad people, but because their job is to take care of their family first. And they're concerned. It's change. What's going to happen? Any parents in the room? Yeah, here's another business. What if you go up to your daycare one day and you find the business for sale sign? And those businesses are bought and sold. What if you're like me? That's what you're going to be doing. No, I'm going to have to find another daycare. So it's really something that I borrowed this. Thank you. Needs to be done covertly. And that's where we come in. What brought me here? I was part of that story as well. The first business I owned was a dance studio. And when it came time for me to move on and close it, I did just that. I closed it. Kind of like you, I loved my business. It was my baby, and I wanted to make sure that it carried on because I loved my clients and my kids, and what I did is I gave my client list to my girlfriend up the road, and I gave my mirrors and bars to my girlfriend in DeKalb. We all had been trained under the same dance master, and I really felt as though that baby was living on through them somehow. But I just gave it away. A lot of entrepreneurs do that. Now, I was young, kind of like Jack and Phil, didn't really know. Later on in my career, I owned a nationwide franchise. I was a real estate broker, owned the brokerage, and I came to understand the power of the database, the power of the MLS. Yes, you need a good broker that you get along with and has good customer service, but without that MLS, man, so that there's power in that database. And because once you list, you've got 28,000 people trying to sell your house for you. So there's power in that, and I knew that and I understood that. But in a business brokerage, that's not the case. Business brokers don't usually, they do sometimes, but they don't usually cooperate with each other. They're still in the olden days of the real estate. If you go back to maybe real estate in the 1950s, it was that storefront that had the listings. So that's what business brokers do, and because of the high confidentiality, it's rather difficult for them right now to cooperate among brands. So I'm going to back up to motivation. You know, we're representing both buyers and sellers. Buyers, what's their motivation? We can kind of sum that up in one word, and I think they even set it up at Iron Tech. Motivation for buyers is potential. They're looking for potential. You don't have to be the most profitable business on the block. They're looking for potential to expand their brand, because sometimes it's easier to expand than it is to grow organically. Potential to buy a business and just get me out of my 9-to-5 in my cubicle. Potential to buy an ongoing business, because buying an ongoing business is safer than starting one up yourself and moving to another location. So as an entrepreneur, you're offering your buyers potential. Whatever that is in their life, they're looking for potential. But what about us entrepreneurs as sellers? I'm sure you guys probably, what's the number one reason a seller will put their business up for sale? Anybody know? What? Retirement, absolutely. And there's a bunch of people selling because of retirement, and there's a bunch of people purchasing because of retirement. Some of us that go into retirement go, what am I going to do now? And there's excitement and there's life in being an entrepreneur. There's a lot of other reasons, though. Retirement is probably the planned for reason. There's other reasons that aren't planned for. You might get a new passion. I have a friend in town, she has a new passion. She is educating people on mental health. It wasn't something she planned for, but something happened in her life and her family, and it's her new passion. Maybe somebody in your family is transferred. Your significant other, your kids, maybe they have grandchildren in another state. Maybe there's an illness. Maybe it's you, maybe it's a family member, and you have a business asset. You can help. You can buy that wheelchair, or you can put your grandchildren through private school. There's a lot of things you can do with the asset, but these aren't necessarily planned events. The other motivation, I kind of alluded to it, is you're handing off your baby. You want to make sure that whoever picks this up is going to recognize the potential and take care of your baby and love it like you would. That's what most of us want. And that's why we vet our buyers so well. I was introduced to business brokerage a while ago, and I was looking, and I thought, wow, this is great. I get to work with my favorite kind of people, the entrepreneurs. I love this. Salespeople, entrepreneurs, people that don't sit in cubicles. We're different, and I love it. You're kind of quirky, too, and I love it. You know? And the first one I was introduced to, they were trying to convince me that I could do this out of my home office, and I thought, oh, how groovy is that? And then I really looked at how well their particular business model served this community, and it really didn't. So then I started looking more into the nationwide change and nationwide firms, and I came back to the power of that database. And the bigger firms with the bigger databases actually serve us entrepreneurs better, especially in this industry. So I found, after going through several iterations, I finally found a company called VR. It actually stands for Valued Representation, but they want to say it's also vitally respected, very responsive, and a valuable resource. They have actually sold more businesses in the world than anyone. And they've gotten a lot of awards, even as late as this past year. So they are the premier business brokerage here in North America. And the McCormack team and VR, at first we were going to go to Sarasota, Florida, and open the brokerage. And we're still going to do that. But then things kind of changed, and I met a partner, and we have circled around back, and we will be opening a branch right here in Rockford, in downtown Rockford. I can't reveal the partner's name yet, but it will be a local establishment as well, and we're very excited about that. We can give any of you, how many of you actually know what your business is worth right now? We give free business evaluations. We will confidentially connect you with a buyer or seller. And there are agreements you need to sign before we even introduce the name of the seller to you or their location. We also do mergers and acquisitions. We have a huge legal and accounting team in back of us, backing us up. So if you have a larger firm, in the millions of dollars, we can accommodate that as well. And then also, we will be doing some business coaching, and I like to say, run it like you're selling it. A lot of us really don't. How many of you have ever sold a car or a house? I have. And if you're like me or my teenage son, maybe your car looked like this. Yeah, you laugh. I know, it's you. Or your house, before you put it on the market. Some of my agents are like, oh yeah, I've seen that house. I've got that listed. Yeah, sorry. But what do? We clean it up for the next person. Isn't that a shame? Why don't we clean it up for ourselves? And sadly, there is a corollary between selling your car and selling your business. By the time you drive into the dealership, or by the time the guy has answered your ad on Craigslist, your car looks like this now. And your house has been tidied up and staged, and it's beautiful. Why are we doing that for the next guy? Do that for yourself and your business. You deserve the added profitability. You deserve the added, less stress, actually. Don't just do it for the new owner. What I want to do is give you just a couple tips for the solopreneur. And, a lot of you are sitting here saying, but it's just me. It's just me giving advice to somebody or coaching somebody or doing something. Well, that is saleable, but we have to begin with the end in mind. First of all, name your business something saleable. For example, if you named it Jean Marie's Awesome Accounting Service, who do they want to see when they show up? Jean Marie. But if you named it Imperial Accounting, it's a far more saleable name. I've got a couple friends in the room. Nanette, I'm going to pick on you a little, not pick on you, but highlight you a little bit. Nanette is a very accomplished harpist. She's the principal harpist for the Rockford Symphony. She teaches, she does weddings, she does corporate events. Awesome. She's named her company Angelic Harps. Pretty smart. I know Rhonda. Rhonda has named her company Pure Simple Self. Pretty smart. I don't know if you planned that, but it seems like you began with the end in mind. The other thing you can do as a solopreneur is bring on talent. And eventually you can get to the point where it doesn't have to be just you performing your service. In fact, I know Nanette has trained some people very, very well. She's got some very talented harpists, and they go out and they perform together. And it's getting to the point where the harpists that she has in her chorale can go do a job or a gig, and it doesn't have to be Nanette. It can be one of the other harpists through angelic harps. So she's got new talent coming on. Maybe, when you're meeting with somebody, you can bring on some new talent, and you meet with them sometimes, and the new talent meets with them sometimes. And you tag team, so they're accustomed to the face. Is the new talent going to buy your business? Probably not. But they will allow you to hand it off. They will allow you to hand it off. Could there be another harpist in town that wants to buy angelic harps? Possibly. Maybe it's the music studio in town that wants to add on a harp division. Is that such a thing? I don't know. A harp division. Or the wedding planner wants to add a harp division. So they could acquire this business and this name and this reputation and expand their businesses very easily by acquiring yours. So bring on the new talent, ease it in, so that when you back off, like Thinker, Thinker Ventures. Jason's not here today, is he? And it's still working. He's developed systems and patterns and people that can carry the baton even in his absence. In fact, if Thinker is ever sold, I imagine somebody's going to say at one point, "Hey, where's Jason? Haven't seen him in a while." And they'll go, he sold the business 6 months ago. That's what you want to have happen. You want to have it handed off pretty seamlessly. I have just a couple more things. Just a word or two about barter and cash. Hopefully you can take out your notes now. I know it happened. Don't raise your hands. I don't want to know. But I'll just say one word about barter. Don't. 2 reasons. 1, people really value what they pay for. And 2, I'll show you in a minute why you're financially hurting yourself. And then for cash, I have 2 words. Deposit it. I know, it's pre-tax dollars. Don't tell me. First of all, if the IRS finds you buying a yacht, they're going to try to find out how you could afford it. And if you did it with cash, they're going to find you. Don't do that. Don't risk it. But there's even more, and I'll give you, okay, here comes the math. I do like numbers. Why? I'm going to value your business. And let's just say, because we're here at 1 million cups, let's just say your business has a $1 million cash flow. And let's just say the factor that we're going to use on your business is a factor of 4 times cash flow. I'm going to value your business at $4 million. It's going to sell for about $4 million. Now, businesses can have a factor of anywhere from 2 to 30, depending upon what industry you're in, what it looks like. There's all kinds of things at play, but 4 is kind of a common factor. Why deposit the cash? Because you think let's just say you had $100,000 in cash that came into your business. You think you've saved $30,000. And over 3 years, because we're going to look back at your records, your profit and loss statements, your tax returns for 3 years, in 3 years you think you've just saved $90,000. Maybe. Don't raise your hands. But let's take a look at Jack and Jill. Jack is in the red. Well, it's actually pink. Jack has a very similar business to Jill, $1 million cash flow. He's bartered about $100,000, but buyers don't pay for what they can't see. So we can't add it in. So we're going to use that factor of 4 and list Jack's property, Jack's business asset, for $4 million. But Jill, on the other hand, has deposited all her cash. She hasn't bartered, and we can see that money, and we're going to add that into her cash flow and multiply it by 4, and we're going to list her business asset for $4,400,000. Let's make it very clear. Jack saved $90,000. Jill made $400,000. if I hammered that home. Okay. All right. So, I've taught you a little something today, and I'm going to send you home with a mandate. Go home and clean your car, fix your house, and run your business like you mean to sell it. Because you're worth it. You deserve it now. Why live with something that could be better? You're really, really worth it. And when it's time to hand over your baby, the VR team, the McCormack team, would be honored to do that for you. Right now, we are in pre-launch. I can be reached at jeanmarie@mccormackmomentum.com. Once we launch, that will change over to a corporate email, but that's my contact for now. We'll be launching in the next couple of months. And again, I'm entirely grateful for this community, for 1 million cups, and it is our intention to go down to Sarasota, Florida. They don't have one there, and we will be sponsoring the 1 million cups there because it has done so much good for us here. We want to share the joy in Sarasota. So thank you.